Policy related to the recommendations that the Climate Action Task Force will be bringing forward. So again, thanks, a brilliant start, and looking forward to more.
That's a good year.
Thank you. It's on there.
Hopeful.
I want to thank Mayor Coss for his past initiatives, and really you brought us Nick Schiavo as our energy specialist, and we just went to town getting our buildings, city buildings, solar actually, so I think that was a big jump start on the effort. I'm interested in knowing if either the acting or interim finance director or the new finance director participated in any way. I'm interested in this appendix. And also the suggestion to use the water reserves as potential funding source. But was there anybody involved from city staff in these?
No, the new finance director wasn't involved.
So do you know who put this appendix together that set the goal of, as I read it, it says we have a number of current customers, 762, I assume that's who are participating in some form of solar rooftop or some form. Is that right? And the aim is to find 10,000 households by a certain period, or? I'm just interested in the numbers. The job creation looks great, but
the matrix and some of those goal settings were done by the finance and the energy working group. And some of our numbers from, like Positive Energy and some of the solar installation companies. And it was not reviewed with the finance department. It was more the financial expertise of the people on the working group.
I guess I'm just looking for timelines as to when they, have any expectation that we could achieve a goal of 10,000 residential solar energy systems.
Yeah, that's significant. That's not in the next year.
Yeah,
I think it ties back to the first goal of what's our footprint and what do we need to do to get to a zero footprint by 2040. And that's what we think 740 is a darn good start, but not nearly enough. And again, that's why the P&M rate case concerns us, because it's a backward step when we're going in a really positive direction. But I think every community in the country is looking at, we need to accelerate this.
Sure.
And,
I guess I just wanted to see who perhaps was behind these numbers, if they had the expertise to be able to consider that as a realistic goal.
right.
And then the other was just, I'm assuming that again, not knowing the entire name of the committee, that the Central Public Schools participated in some way.
Lisa's been with us all along.
And have they ever bonded to go out? Because, just like us, we can bond easily to build things. Do you know if the schools have ever bonded to consider solarization?
Some of the members may. I don't think they have. I think they've been doing it. That's just.
It says yes.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm interested in the funding mechanisms. I would love to know if there's some way to send it to the finance committee to look at some of these funding options.
I think those are great questions, and I think we're right at the time where we want to start having counselors and council committees working with us and looking at these recommendations.
Okay. Thank you again for your past service and your present.
Thank you, Council.
Just wanted to add on that point, Councilor, thanks for bringing up the point about there is a next process which is turned over to council. This really is citizen-led recommendations. I will add that Commissioner Julian has been a part of this program as well, so the county's been included. I want to recognize Craig O'Hare and John Alejandro, who they've staffed the Action Task Force for both the county and the city, and we expect Commissioner Julian to take at least some form of recommendations to the commission so that there can be joint participation in that. And I think on the point of the water company, I think that the way I understand the Climate Action Task Force, they threw up a series of ideas given where the city is. One of the options that we could have, although it's what's going to take some work to understand, would be to adopt what other utilities across the country have, which is some form of utility bill pay through our water customers that would allow for people who could not necessarily go to a bank and borrow money for small retrofits or other type of energy efficient programs within their homes, for us to look at utility bill pay in the form of our water company to allow people to pay back costs associated with those retrofits. Now that's at the 30,000 foot level. It's because we've got the structure set up, but it will take a lot of work on our finance department's part, and certainly the utility side of the house, and then of course any proposal or recommendation for that kind of program will be under full review by the city council's finance, public utility, and other committees. But that is one example that I've heard how the water company can play a role in being able to use their structure to bring other forms of capital, if you will, to some type of retrofit programs to the public that normally wouldn't. Large utilities in other communities across the country do provide this. They're usually on the public utility side of things. And I'm not sure that K&M has adopted that type of program yet, but we can if we have mechanisms to do so.
Can we presume that the federal government, Fannie Mae and all of them, are going to continue to not allow us to use property taxes as a basis to do that kind of funding?
So that funding that the federal government has prevented is more, so PACE funding is it's funding that allows for property taxes to be used, or basically property to be securitized to generate capital to go for retrofits. That's different from using a utility bill system. And you're right, I don't think there's been movement on the residential side. Mike Lockton's here, so you can help us with that. But on the commercial side, there seems to be a vehicle available for large commercial users. I think that the technicalities and the cumbersome process is something that needs to be evaluated on whether it can truly be a form of financing. But PACE is very different from the utility bill pay that could be considered by the council.
Something other than PACE.
Can we go to Councilor Dominguez and then Councilor Estes?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll be very quick. Of course, thank you, mayors, for your work. Thank you, Councilor Rice, for your work as well. And of course, thanks to the task force. How many members did you say you worked with?
I think with all the working groups, there's over 70 people that participate.
Well, it's
I think
exciting.
Commissioner Holian's group is truly large on land use for food security.
Well, it's exciting to see that kind of energy behind this sort of effort. And it's exciting to see this kind of effort being brought as far as it has been brought. It's one of those things where there's probably going to be a lot of capital costs or expense, I should say, in the front, but in the back end, it's probably going to be well worth that investment. I had just a couple of questions. One had to do with what Councilor Boucher brought up in terms of bringing this to the Finance Committee. I'm not sure what the timeline is for some of this stuff in terms of what the cost may be. I would ask staff though to just be aware of the fact that we're getting ready to jump into our budget, and so as important as that is, and as important as this is, we want to make sure that we provide the proper attention that each of those things needs. But the question that I had was with regards to the LEAP process. It sounds like from what I read that is ready to be, the city's ready to initiate that process. And it might be more of a technical question that staff might be able to answer.
I might let John Alejandro.
And I think, Councilor, I think that so the goal would be to go to finance with specific resolutions that would identify financial implications for the programs. But I will say that the Climate Action Task Force has heard from all of us that the city doesn't have a pool of capital necessary, so the idea of creative financing is something that is very important in this process. So I think what you'll see when council will be seeing over the course of the summer is a series of resolutions that map to the recommendations that the task force has brought forward, and that's where you'll get to start really delving into what works, what doesn't.
But the process is in of itself, right? I mean, it's a process that probably have to go through outside of some of the other creative financing opportunities there are.
Certainly for expansion of city facilities that are going to use solar, that obviously has implications that need to be addressed for sure.
Well, I just bring that up because it seems like it might be one of those pieces of low-hanging fruit that you should probably pay some specific attention to. I don't know what the cost implications are, but